There are things we miss, not because they're hidden, but because we've been taught not to notice them. You think attraction announces itself with certainty, a bold statement, a clear signal, a confession, but sometimes it whispers instead. It slips in through side glances, thoughtful pauses, and questions that seem ordinary. So instead, they suggest it, in timing, in presence, the quiet approach, the soft fascination, the hidden desire masked as casual interest, in the way their attention lingers, just long enough to mean something, but not long enough to prove it. She remembers things no one else catches, mentions you in conversations where she doesn't need to, shows up to places where you happen to be, as if by accident, till you look back and realize they weren't. See, when someone is drawn to you, truly drawn to you, they don't always know how to say it. In shared moments, in excuses. And that's how most men miss it, because they're waiting for fireworks when all she's giving are candles. And that's what works exceptionally well. It starts in the small ways. But let's be honest, people don't orbit randomly. We gravitate, and that gravity is never coincidence. At first, it feels like chance. Then, it feels like a pattern. They're probes not to expose, but to understand. She's mapping the topography of your interior, gently. Not with interrogation, but with care. And then, it hits you. She's not just presents, she's choosing to be. She's drawn to the places where you've been hurt, where you've healed, and where you still hide. He believed that deep within all of us live archetypes, the warrior, the poet, the king, the wanderer. And when she studies you, consciously or not, she's searching for which one lives inside you. The first sign is subtle consistency. The thinker who hides his grief behind intellect, or the dreamer who's terrified of being fully seen, because she's paying attention in a way that most people daren't. Not just to facts, but to meaning. She's there, not just once, not just when it's convenient, but repeatedly, rhythmically. She's the one who remembers that you don't talk about your brother, even though you mention your family. She's trying to see who you are when you're not performing. Do you ever feel like you're too much for people? Or, what made you stop trusting love? But here's the thing, she'll never make it obvious. The more deeply she admires you, the less likely she is to act on it. If she remembers your doubts, your hopes, the joke you told months ago, that's not flirtation, that's investment. A man like you wouldn't choose someone like her, not because she lacks courage, but because she's been taught not to. Because once you realize it's intentional, the spell breaks. The magic relies on subtlety. She declares it first and is wrong. She doesn't just lose the moment, she risks her dignity. It's the things you avoid. It's the way your tone changes when you talk about your father. It's the way you always shift the subject when someone asks how you're really doing. Maybe it was reverence, wrapped in distance. So she hides her intentions in errands. The second sign. She listens not just to what you say, but to what you withhold. You go home thinking no one saw you at all. She's the one who notices when your smile doesn't reach her eyes. And then, one night, when the air feels honest, she asks you something disarming. And just like that, you're in a different kind of conversation. One that doesn't live on the surface. See, these aren't random questions. With warmth, with clarity, because she's not just drawn to your confidence. To you, it's just a conversation. To her, it's revelation. And if you catch her remembering the smallest things, like how you hate goodbyes, or how you used to draw as a kid at S. This is what Carl Jung might have called soul recognition. Are you the protector who never asks for praise? Show that you've been paying attention, too. She's not trying to figure out what you do. Key, in the quiet hope that maybe, just maybe, you see her, too. And that brings us to something almost no one talks about, emotional pattern recognition. She's noticing not just your answers, but your silences. That's how she knows what matters to you. That's how she starts forming a picture. And if she brings it up later, but here's where it gets complicated, Even if she feels drawn to you, she may never say it. Taught to wait, to hope, to hint, because society still treats a woman's interest as a liability. So she guards it, wraps it in plausible deniability. A glance here, a question there. Never too much, never too certain. And the cruel irony, because the deeper the admiration, the more she believes you might already belong to someone else, okay? That you're already claimed. And so, she stays silent. You think she didn't notice you, but she did. You think she wasn't interested, but she was. She just didn't know if she was allowed to be. And that's the paradox. The men most admired, most quietly longed for, often the ones who feel most invisible, not because they lack presence, but because their presence is so commanding. People assume they're unavailable, untouchable, already chosen. So, if you've ever walked into a room and felt unseen, maybe it wasn't disinterest. Maybe it was fear. There's a cost to being quietly powerful. You draw people in, tell, but they don't know how to approach you. So they admire you from afar. They tell their friends about you. They replayed the way you said their name, and you. That's how emotional isolation begins. You start believing you're forgettable, when in fact, you're unforgettable in silence. So what do? You don't manipulate it. You don't weaponize it. You honor it, because the person quietly drawn to you, they're risking more than you know. And if you recognize these signs in someone, if you feel that soft tension, that half-spoken connection, your job isn't to conquer, it's to notice. Respond with presence. Ask the question back. Linger in the silence. Because sometimes the most beautiful beginning isn't made of fireworks or declarations. Sometimes it's built in eye contact, held a second too long,